Hello, everyone. Just giving you kind of a 5-minute warning. We're going to get started. I want to give you a chance to finish whatever light bites you have with you, but 5 minutes, we're going to get started. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is so exciting. Welcome to the 2023 Alumni Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. My name is Sherilyn Gowdy. I am Director of Annual Giving and Alumni Relations, and I'm blessed to have 4 amazing humans who are being inducted today. We've had many conversations, and these are phenomenal people. My team and I are just thrilled to have you all here at campus to celebrate and honor these amazing people. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is an amazing honor here at GCU, and we're proud to share a bit of the journey of our impressive inductees. But first, I would like Dr. Anderson to lead us in prayer.
Let's pray. Father, you are good and kind to give us life today. It's a gift that I pray you'd give us the strength and the wisdom to use wisely. Thank you for the testament of the lives of the alumni that we celebrate today, their celebration of their commitment to you, to their work out in the community and in the places where you've called them to serve. I pray this would be a fitting celebration of their work, their investment in their families and in their friends and in their work. Thank you for the gift of life again. Thank you for the joy that it is to serve you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. So these hand-selected alumni stand apart. They proudly represent everything GCU stands for, between their professional achievements, their commitment to living the GCU servant leadership lifestyle, and their contributions back to their community. So thank you for joining us for this special occasion. Before we start, I would like to have President Brian Mueller come up and talk a little bit about GCU.
Congratulations to the winners, and thank you all for being here. You know, this is we have a lot of exciting days at GCU. You know, it's when I think back on a completed year, and I think back on all the days of that year, and all of the events, and all the things that gone on. There's just a lot of exciting things that God is doing here, but this is one of the most special days. I have a lot of things about my job that I really, really enjoy. But I will tell you that I don't know if I enjoy any of them more than meeting people who went here to GCU, it was Grand Canyon College in those days, in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s. I've been here 15 years now, and I have still not run into a single individual that attended Grand Canyon College and didn't say it was just the greatest place and had the most significant impact on their life. The administration, the faculty, the coaches, the staff, the feeling about this place is very, very special when I talk to people from that decade. And it's not different than when I talk to people today. People come on campus and they say, boy, this thing has really changed. You know, it was 95 acres and 1,000 students, and now it's 300 acres and it's 26,000 students, and it's growing to 50,000 students in the next 4 or 5 years. But I walk around campus and I look at all the new and beautiful buildings and all the architecture and all of the students and all of the activity. Students seem happy. They hold the door open. They are polite. Something about, as much as this place has changed and as different as it is very much the same in a way. And I wanted to read just, from the New Testament for a second, because I know all of you are familiar with this part of Jesus' teaching. But he says, Matthew chapter 7, verse 24, "Therefore everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who builds his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash." It's difficult for me to explain this. It's been 14 years, and I never envisioned myself to be a university president. I graduated from college, one like this, and wanted to be a high school teacher and a coach, and one thing led to another, and all of a sudden I'm running a university, and then Grand Canyon called in 2008 and said, would you want to think about coming over here? And I came over, and I walked the campus, and it was, it was about 95 acres. There were about 1,000 students. There was debt. There was buildings that had built shortly after World War II. But I thought, after all these years, maybe this is what God had in mind all along. I learned how to use the public markets to get access to capital, learned how to use technology to reach the world, and if we take those two things and bring them here, maybe we can create a private Christian university that will be as affordable as a state university. Maybe we create one that's affordable to all socioeconomic classes of Americans. So that was the dream, that was the goal. We came here in June of 2008, and now we sit here today, and what God has done here is truly amazing. And I can't explain it all, except I will say this. This place was built on the rock. There were winds and there were storms over the years. And those of you that were here had a great experience here, but it wasn't always easy. There were financial challenges. There were other challenges. And yet this place survived. And it continued to survive. And it continued to survive. And then all of a sudden, God allowed it to thrive. But I believe he did that because it was built on the rock, and that never changed. That never changed, and we are the recipients of that. So for those of you that were here in those years and built this place and created the ethos of it that we now have inherited, I want to thank you very much. It's always good to run into you and meet you. I just met somebody that was from the class of 1962. Is that correct? 1962. He played on the baseball field that preceded Brazel Field. Is that correct? Well, I want you to know, in case you don't, that Coach Brazel came to me. I'm getting off script here. I'll finish in a second. Coach Brazel came to me a couple years before he passed away, and I didn't know why he was coming to see me. And he said, when I pass, I'd like my funeral to be in the Southern Baptist Church, and is it possible that a funeral procession could go past the ballpark. And I said, if that's all you want after all you've done, I mean, him and his wife together, 100 years of service. If that's all you want, yes, we can do that. But we were at that time planning to build a new park. And he explained to me in that meeting how he laid that thing out. You know, where he put the strings and the stakes and everything. He explained to me exactly how he laid it out. And I thought, I wonder if we can keep it right here and just build the new stadium around it. So as a result of that meeting, the architects went to work and we built the stadium right around it. So I want you to know that you played in that park before this one, but this one is laid out exactly as it was originally laid out by Coach Brazel. And in that park, what was it, 4 days ago, the number 2 team in NCAA baseball, Tennessee, I think they call them the Volunteers, came to town. They threw their ace in the first game, and Grand Canyon won 4-3. It was an absolutely great evening, and I tell that story only because I met you just before. But again, congratulations to everybody who's inducted. Those of you that have been here over all the decades, thanks for all that you have done. And let's get on with the celebration.
Okay, our first inductee is Dr. Linda Buscemi. If our dean would come up to give her her plaque.
Thank you, President Mueller, for getting us started. It's quite an honor to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, and it's pretty exciting. The College of Doctoral Studies started in 2008 as well, and since then we have over 2,000 graduates. But what's special is they come with their hopes, their dreams, they put their time, their talent, their treasure into the endeavor, and we're blessed to be stewards of that journey. And nothing's more rewarding than to see what they do with their lives after they graduate, and even what happens in the lives of their families after they graduate. And that's what makes today special. Dr. Linda Buscemi received her doctorate of philosophy in general psychology with an emphasis in cognition and instruction in 2018. Since then, Dr. Buscemi is the co-founder of a behavioral health tech company, Taproot Inventions and Solutions. This has created a digital tool for caregivers to manage behaviors for those who have cognitive deficits. This is the first tool of its kind, and she is leading in product design with a first-in-class validated behavioral database. Linda's healthcare experience spans across the industry with insurance payer, outpatient provider, and long-term care services. She hosted a radio show and a podcast called Project U by Doc B, and recently published her first book. Let's hear more from Linda herself as she took time to chat with our team.
My name is Linda Buscemi, and I graduated in 2018 with a PhD in psychology. There was actually a specialization to it, which is cognitive and instruction, which was really nice because it really fed to where I really wanted to take my career and be more understanding the more cognitive nature of the brain and of psychology. I'm a licensed counselor by trade, receiving my master's in counseling, and really wanted my PhD, always really wanted it, but had to work right after graduating with my master's. I found GCU as a fairly new program to get your PhD, and it was really conducive to someone who needed to work. So that's why I found GCU and had a great program. It was a real positive experience. Since GCU, I wrote a book, which was an Amazon bestseller, which was exciting, and created a podcast. And most recently, I co-founded a company called Taproot Intervention Solutions, where we're bringing an AI component to the mental health and cognitive deficit world. Our company, Taproot, was actually selected to participate in the Canyon Ventures, which is a center of innovation. And that was a really great program for the students, but it's also great for the companies. So you are able to work with GCU students, whether they're graduated or not, and integrate them into world life experience into your company, but also being able to participate back and being an alumni, helping the students. Just giving back is just really important to me and our company. By going to GCU and going through this program really did empower me to move forward, even if there's bumps in the road, which there are, is to keep going and to not lose sight of your ultimate goal. It really does take perseverance. There's a lot of people that don't make it all the way through, so I think just being patient, listening to others, you don't have to take everybody's advice necessarily, but listen and see how you can incorporate that. So I think GCU really kind of honed in on that skill for me, and that lesson for me is to be patient and just keep persevering and learning.
Dr. Buscemi, we'd be happy to have you come up as we celebrate your accomplishments. Now we'd like to welcome Dr. Sherman Elliott from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
Welcome, everybody. Such an honor to have an inductee like Martin Caldwell. He said I can call him Marty. Is that still okay? After our conversation. You know, our college has grown a lot since 1976, when Marty graduated with a degree in behavioral science, which sounds an awful lot like behavioral health science that we still have. The difference is, and President Mueller alluded to it, is that God keeps on giving to our college. We now have about 5,000 students on the ground campus studying in the helping professions, in social services, behavioral health science, social work, psychology, addictions counseling, sociology. It keeps growing and growing. And then online, we have 22,000 who are in clinical programs, social work, counseling, etc. So people like Marty, in my opinion, do exactly what the ministry and mission is of our college, which is to transform and enrich individual lives and communities so that they can flourish. And it's a blessing that I believe in your career, that's exactly what you have done. I apologize. The printers keep making fonts smaller for some strange reason. Marty graduated, as I mentioned, in 1976. He also obtained a master's degree in counseling from ASU. Well, we have that here now, so you know. Theology degree from Fuller Theological Seminary. Marty met Christ through a Young Life weekend in 1969 and began volunteering with the organization in a leadership position from 72 to 78. Shortly after, he was invited to become a full-time staff member. Soon, he became the regional director for the Arizona branch in 1988 and has been an integral part of the development and vision for Lost Canyon, the popular Young Life camp in northern Arizona. In 2006, he was appointed the senior vice president of Young Life in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. In October 2015, Marty was appointed executive vice president over all Young Life's international work, which includes 104 countries. In 2020, he was appointed as the Chief Foundation Officer. Marty and his wife, Susan, who is also a proud Lope alum, have been married for 44 years. They have 3 grown and happily married children, as well as 3 wonderful grandkids. Marty spoke with our team and is going to share a little bit about that journey now.
My name is Marty Caldwell, and I graduated from GCU in 1976 with a BA in behavioral science, which was a combination of psychology and sociology. The degree program that I studied was this intersection of sociology and psychology, so kind of the blending of the two, which are both places of great interest for me because I see them not only as individual needs but also as community and neighborhood, and that was the perfect major for me. My experience at GCU was delightful. I think it helped me integrate my faith and my life and leadership. I loved being on the golf team, and really there were a couple of professors that just became mentors and real guides to how I would live my life. at GCU, I definitely grew in my faith. Dr. D.C. Martin, I took every class that I could from him. He's gone to be with the Lord, but he had great influence and really helped me integrate the Bible and my life and leadership, and then even thinking about being a therapist, to put my faith into the field of therapy. He did an amazing amount of integration for us. One great experience at the Grand Canyon was meeting my wife. A January term, a hike to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and she was on the hike with me, and that is where we first started to connect with each other, and we got married a mere 4 years later, and that was in 1978. A couple of lessons from GCU that still really resonate within my soul is integration, is a life and words and career and family and faith all should be together. They should be aligned as well as they should be lived out, and I think GCU set the pattern for that for my whole life and my family and my marriage, and even as a grandparent. I am continuing to be involved because I want this place to flourish, because this place flourishing means a flourishing around the neighborhoods that are close by and a flourishing of faith across our city. And that's a vision that I share with many people at GCU. This is about a flourishing city that is a lot longer than a 4-year degree. This is about the next 50 or 100 years in Phoenix.
Marty, we are proud to induct you into the Hall of Fame. And now I'd like to introduce the Associate Dean from the College of Nursing and Healthcare Professions, Tammy Wisely.
Thank you, Dr. Elliott. It's my honor to recognize one of our distinguished nursing alumni today, Michael Herring, as an inductee into GCU's Hall of Fame. The College of Nursing and Healthcare Professions has seen significant growth as the university has expanded over the years. We began with just one pre-licensure BSN program in 1982, and now we are one of 9 colleges within the university and offer 25 degree programs between all levels: baccalaureate, master's, postmaster's, and doctoral. The college has been focused on helping students find their purpose as they move through their healthcare programs and step into their career. Our Hall of Fame candidate is a true example of that journey. I would like to introduce Michael. Graduated from GCU with a Master's of Business Administration and a Master of Science in Nursing Leadership in Healthcare Systems in 2014. He has worked in the healthcare industry for over 30 years, beginning as a nursing assistant in long-term care. Once he received his registered nursing license, Michael worked in many different settings, such as hospice, surgical, emergency, and flight nursing. These opportunities evolved into progressive leadership roles as an executive in both rural and urban organizations. His drive for leadership development and patient safety has led his career to multiple inpatient and outpatient settings, as well as his current role of Chief Executive Officer at Banner Gateway and Banner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Michael has also served the community in a variety of ways outside of his formal role as a member of the Board of Directors for the Gilbert Chamber of Commerce, President and Board Member of the Arizona Organization of Nurse Leaders, a member on the Eastern Arizona College of Nursing Advisory Board, and as the Treasurer for Arizona Healthcare Executives. That's a lot. Michael and his wife Kimberly reside in Gilbert, Arizona with their teenage son. They have 5 older children and 4 beautiful grandchildren. Michael gave us some more insight to his impressive career. Let's take a look.
I was serving as a chief nursing officer in a rural hospital and wanted to pursue formal education. So I started researching different programs and discovered that Grand Canyon University had a Master's in Nursing Leadership also with an MBA. And that, along with the fundamental Christian foundation of the university, really attracted me. That's really what got me here, and never regretted it. It's allowed me to have doors open that I would not have had before. I think the degree that I received, the education I received, made me a better person and allowed me just to complete my own personal mission of impacting other people's lives. Every day, my life is benefited because of my time at GCU. I was a director of emergency department, and once I received my master's degree, that opens up more administrative roles. I had a chance to serve as a chief nursing officer at Banner Payson in Payson, Arizona, and then was asked to come back to the Valley and serve as a chief operating officer at Banner Gateway and Banner MD Anderson Cancer Center, and then most recently have been asked to serve as a chief executive officer of Banner Gateway Medical Center and Banner MD Anderson Cancer Center. I always had clear expectations, which really enabled me to be successful with it while working full-time. I think we all have life that gets in the way sometimes of school, but anything that's difficult usually means it's going to be really worth it at the end. I love being a nurse. I am still a nurse. And when I approached my patients, my background, I did a lot of different areas, but a majority of it was in the emergency department. And so my mindset with patients was to make sure they felt safe, make sure they knew everything that was going on, any medications they got, what treatment they got, make sure they had the right equipment around them in order for them to overcome whatever challenge it was. My mindset's the exact same thing in administration. Now my patients, there's 1,700 employees and thousands of actual patients. So it's the same thing of how do I create an environment that's safe? How do I make sure everyone knows what's going on? How do I make sure they have the right equipment to do their roles and have an environment where it's enjoyable to come to work and you feel like you make a difference and you feel like your leaders are there shoulder to shoulder helping you and understand the challenges every day. So I think I still feel like a nurse. It's just my patient population might not be people seeking medical care. It's everyone I come in contact with. We all have choices to make. And I think anytime you can make a choice to make yourself better, whether it be education, job, role, friends, that let you grow in your ability to influence others. I think that's the ultimate mark of a life. And really the only lasting effect we can have on this life is our impact and influence on others. So I really take away from GCU was the opportunity that gave to me. And really it challenged me to recognize that the joy of learning doesn't end when the degree is received. The joy of learning is always, you should always be reading, always be learning, always be challenging yourself. And I think GCU sparked that.
Michael, come on up and let's induct you into the Hall of Fame. Now I'd like to invite up to the stage Dr. Peter Anderson, Assistant Dean of the College of Theology, to hear about our final inductee.
Thank you, Dr. Wisely. I hope you're okay. It's great to be here with you all today. Grand Canyon University, over the last few years, has exemplified a true commitment to the community around which we live and serve. So GCU is a partner with the people and the places where we live, work, and serve. As a missional, Christ-centered university, the College of Theology in particular is right in alignment with that vision for investing in the people and the places where we are called to live and serve. The college over the years has expanded into not simply Christian studies programs, but Christian ministry programs that are intensely committed to practical application, practical ministry training. We've added a seminary training program, which is a graduate school for pastors and church leaders. We're very thankful for the work we get to do to train leaders that are not simply committed to local churches, but are also committed to the people and the families that live in our neighborhoods and in our communities. In fact, one of the pillars of the college is to be mission-oriented. And all that simply means is we live on mission where God is on mission. And that is in the neighborhoods and in the families and in the places where we're called to serve. It's all good and well for us to talk about that academically here at the university, but the greatest testament and testimony to that commitment in our college is without a doubt the alumna of our college. And for that reason, I'm proud to introduce you to Stephen Sheets, one of our alumna back from 2005. We're inducting him today into this year's Hall of Fame. A little bit about Stephen. He's an avid CrossFitter, I learned, so no push-up contests after this. He's a committed dad, just taught his son, I believe, to ride his bike recently. Committed father and husband, travels quite a bit, but does all he can to care for his family and be at home when he is at home. Stephen obtained his Bachelor of Arts in Christian Studies from the College of Theology back in 2005. He has been with Southwest Behavioral and Health Services since 2013 and has served as president and CEO since 2018. Stephen has held various positions within the behavioral healthcare industry since 2009, while also earning his master's in professional counseling from Ottawa University. He has held an Arizona Independent Professional Counseling license since 2016 and serves on numerous health plan advisory and governance committees. Stephen also serves as a board member of the Grand Canyon University Counseling Advisory Committee and is a board member for the Arizona Council for Human Service Providers, and previously served on the board for Equity Healthcare Network. Stephen took some time out to share some of his thoughts on video. Let's check them out.
My name is Stephen Sheets. I received a Bachelor's of Arts in Christian Studies, and I graduated in 2005. I studied Christian Studies to potentially go into ministry. Went through biblical foundations, learning about Old Testament, New Testament, the life of Jesus, and how that reflection is really in our lives for believers now. And then I had an emphasis in worship as a specialty area. Since graduating, I found myself working in the human service field. I worked at a couple of different churches and realized maybe a ministry career wasn't in my future. And so I started working as a case manager and a team lead for children's services. And then found myself wanting to go get my master's degree in counseling. Now, through my journey at Southwest Behavioral and Health Services, worked as a therapist, as a supervisor, as a vice president and a senior vice president, and now as the CEO of the organization. The education I received from GCU impacted both professional and personal life in a few different ways. From a professional journey, it influenced how intentional I was about wanting to go and work with individuals just in a different setting than a church. I remained involved with GCU. I'm a part of the counseling advisory board that influences the counseling programs here throughout the college. I've also been matched up with students when they're wanting to be part of the human service field in a mentoring capacity. I think it's really important for me to remain involved, not only just to touch the lives of individuals that will be maybe one of our employees, but also to help shape the counseling field in general and the focus of education, as oftentimes the real world is a little bit different than textbook world. And so just making sure that the new trends are being taught and that influence can be given through the advisory committee. And then from the personal lens, I've been an elder at the church my wife and I attended for many years, and now we're active participants in the current church we're at. And the goal and the hope is to influence the lives of my 4-year-old son, 2-year-old daughter, and our family as a whole.
Congratulations, Stephen. Come on, Stephen, come on up.
Okay, that concludes our program. Linda, Marty, Stephen, Michael, you are amazing humans, and we are so blessed that you came here today and let us celebrate you. Thank you for being here. Enjoy some refreshments and some light bites, and go Lopes. Lopes up.